Hello, everybody. Hey, that's me.
All right.
Okay, I guess that's my cue.
I think
Welcome, everybody. We are getting so slick and polished. We got like a commercial, a trailer before the show. I'm going to go to the movies tomorrow with my sons to see Project Hail Mary. So, looking forward to that. Looking forward to sharing some um, community time with the rest of the world. Alex is on fire. Indeed, indeed. Welcome, everybody. This is the Friday Chief AI Officer Q&A call. My name is Lee Pomerantz. I'm your host for the duration of the call. You got me, all me. It's real. No avatar here. This is me. And we will be rambling on about a lot of good stuff going on today, this week in the world of AI. So we are going to talk about AI. Well, we're going to talk about what's happening in our community. We're going to talk about um, AI things that are happening in the news, and we're here for Q&A. This is all about questions and answers. We're here to answer your questions. We're here to help you out. Yeah, okay, here we go. Fingers, Raj. See, okay. They're all here. They're all articulated. They all work. I don't know. AI's gotten better at doing the finger thing, right? I haven't seen anybody with, a hand that looks like this lately. All right, so welcome, everybody. If you are catching us on the live stream, so we are actually out there on a bunch of platforms today. So I think that we're on X, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. So welcome everybody who is joining us on the live stream. If you would like to participate and join us on the Zoom call directly and be able to interact, questions and answers, and just be engaged on a different level, we do invite you to join our community, the AI Insider community. Please go to chiefaiofficer.com under resources. You will see a link to the community and you can check it out. So everybody who's on the live stream, check out the community and join us on the call live here in the Zoom room. So Alex is here to moderate the call with us today. So Alex, appreciate you being here and appreciate all the help and support that I get from the Chief AI Officer community in making these calls happen. I couldn't do it without the help of everybody there that's making that happen with me. So again, welcome everybody, and we are going to take a look at my agenda here and see what's happening in the world of our community right now. Oh, snap. We have an announcement to make. I have an announcement to make. I made it last week, but Joel wasn't here last week, but we did celebrate your accomplishment last week, Joel, as a new official certified chief AI officer. You can go back to the tape. We definitely acknowledged it last week, and right there. You weren't there for it, but we're going to do it again because it's worth it to get the love and the accolades and the little emoji horns that are blowing out confetti and all that kind of stuff. So we all congratulate you, Joel, on your accomplishment. You are the first new certified chief AI officer that has gone through the updated program, the updated curriculum. So you get that Certified Chief AI Officer 2 insignia or something like that, I think, to differentiate a little bit on that. And we just know the work that goes into it. We know the effort that it takes, and we're proud of you. We're glad you're in this community. We thank you for your participation and engagement and everything that you do. So, way to go, Joel. And I'm glad you're here today to get your accolades. And again, if you want to go back and watch last week, gave you a shout out last week as well. So that's the top of the community news is acknowledging Joel's great accomplishments there. And then we do have our continuing call series that's happening all during the week. So if you are not taking advantage of that, it is one of the best features of our community. It's continuous education on demand. We've got calls that are covering building in AI with Aton. We've got calls that are coming up. There's a call I learned about today that is going to be on the 11th of April, featuring Steve, who's here on our call today. Hello, Steve. Um, it's going to be on a Saturday. There is going to be a fee associated with it. It's not part of our regular call series, but watch for news on that call. That's going to hit information in Circle. That'll give you all the details about that. Steve, you want to give us a
Yeah, I
30-second
can give
thumbnail
you,
of
I
what
can
that
just give
call is
you a
going to be about?
real brief piece of it. The idea here, OpenClaw and associated technologies are so big right now. I mean, just they're in the front of mind of a lot of our customers. And so the idea here is we're gonna talk about how do you implement it, how do you protect it, how do you how do you govern and manage it. And the idea is it'll be intensive. It'll be 6 hours, and we're going to really dive into not just the technology, but also sort of the mechanics of how do you build use cases on it? How are you doing, how do you actually use it to run a business? I think the goal of this is at the end of this 6 hours, you as consultants, as AI folks are going to be ready to just go out there and deliver these solutions. So I think it's going to be super, super valuable.
Excellent. And it's such an amazing opportunity. We have people with such great domain expertise in our community and people not only with that domain expertise, but who are willing to share and help us all continue to learn on our journey, which is changing every single day. So, Steve, we look forward to that. Alex posted that there'll be information and registration and sign up and all that stuff landing in Circle a little bit later today. So check out that call coming up, and then just our regular call series that continues to just get better and better all the time as we are continuing to make sure that everybody is staying up to date with what's happening. Again, a big differentiator for our community. We've got people that are out there practicing this craft in real time, having meetings, having projects, working with clients, delivering results, and they're bringing those results back to share with the community of what's happening, what's working, what's not working. It is just such a valuable component of the community, and we have so many different ways to access that in Circle. People are posting wins, people are posting news and events that are happening in the world of AI. So our whole community is kind of self-curating the fire hose of data that we are getting blasted with every day. So the AI updates section, my eyes are on that a couple of times a day, making sure that I'm seeing what's going on that other people have found that maybe didn't cross my radar screen. So we look forward to those calls continuing. I will get into now wins of the week. So wins of the week is a great place to share what happened in your world this week. What was a win? What was an aha moment? Um, if you haven't gone over into Circle to look at the weekly wins, again, this is where people are out there doing it, and they're bringing that in real time back to the community. Terry posted, a great 7-minute audio video clip of her activity and just what happened over the last couple of days. Heather is interviewing for a position, and she's made it through the recruiter round, and she now has two strategic this is for a strategic business advisor development role. Silvana is speaking at a TEDx event on March 28th. That's coming up tomorrow, and that's happening in Dallas, Texas. Um, Salvador, down in Mexico, is working on a OpenClaw content builder. So just check out the wins that are happening in the community over in that section. And then I'd love to open up the floor to anybody who wants to share wins that are on the call here today. So who's got a win this week that they would like to share? Joel,
All
besides
right.
certification, you have another win?
It's
Bring the goods, man.
like I mentioned before, they're small but significant. So I took all the knowledge that I had done with CAIO, and I originally built a kind of a trial agent that I called Omar. My company is Omnissa, so it's Omar, the tech sales agent for Omnissa. And then I converted that because our AI council, which I'm a part of, said the only way we're going to do this stuff initially for the first pilot is with Copilot Studio. So I converted it into a Copilot Studio app. And I've just today, this morning, released version 5 of Omar. And we're working through getting approval to push this out to the sales organization because that's who it's built for. And what it does is it says, hey, you got a question? Here's the technical or sales or account representative answer to that question. But oh, by the way, did you think of asking the customer these types of questions? So it's a follow-up. It's like, yeah, we're going to give you the answer, but we're also going to try to close some business on it. And that's what folks need. So it's different from just asking a question and getting an answer. It's actually kind of steering them in the right sales direction. And I've had multiple people come to me in the last week and say, show me how you did that. And so momentum is building. I've got a VP that's asking me questions. I've got a product manager, product marketing manager that I'm working with to build her own agent. And just a lot of things. And man, I mean, the wheels are starting to turn. So I consider that a success. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely a success. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate that. And who else has a win? Um,
And thank you for everything else that you were. I'm gonna
I
go
don't
check
know,
that
man.
that
That's
video.
just
That was freaking awesome.
hey, it's
Thanks.
it's with love. It's to be acknowledged. It's a I don't want to say it's a slog, but it's an effort. So, you did it, and you deserve the attaboy. All right. Anybody else have any other wins? I shared a win last week in terms of an event that I attended that was a webinar on LinkedIn, and I discovered, lo and behold, you can see all the people who registered for that particular event on LinkedIn, and you can grab those people's names and you can reach out and engage with them. Um, Ali K. Miller, who is one of the top voices in the world of AI. If you don't follow her online, please do. But she did a webinar. There were, I think, 2,000 people had registered for that, but during the course of the webinar, they opened up a Google Doc or I'm sorry, a Google Sheet, and they said, hey, if you want to network, please don't throw your LinkedIn information in the chat. We want to keep the chat pertinent to the webinar that's going on. even though everybody still threw their stuff in there. But they opened up a Google Sheet, and then they shared that with everybody who was on the webinar. So, boom, there's another 500 names of people that were, on that webinar interested in AI. Those are people that I would love to speak to. It captured their LinkedIn profile, their, job, what they do, website, those kind of things. So you never know where you're going to come across. It's all about getting out there and getting your name visible and networking and working with people. But just by attending a webinar, you may get a treasure trove of contact information of people who are interested in AI, who are looking for solutions, who are looking for subject matter experts. So that was a total mind-blowing win that I wasn't expecting that. And I've seen a few other people do that model where they try to get the chat quieted down and don't put your LinkedIn in the info in the chat. We're going to give you a spreadsheet. Put it over here. Let's keep the chat, connected to what's happening on the webinar. And some other companies have done that as well. So be on the lookout for that when you are signing up for events and webinars. They're great sources of finding people who are thinking about the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So that was my win there, Alex. Thanks for sharing. Ali, again, is a great voice and a great source in the AI community. All right. Anybody else have any other wins?
I'll share one. So I've been working. I'm a member of a premier networking group, and I've been talking to the folks that are running the group. Basically, what we're going to do is we're building a solution, an AI solution around the Zoom listener, where basically. All of the people that opt in from the networking group. The networking group breaks down into individual sessions, and if people opt in, those sessions get recorded, and then that recording, we've got it going into a database, and there's a knowledge graph set up, and it can be queried in all kinds of different ways, and then we're feeding back all kinds of useful information. So somebody else in a different group mentions my name, it will let me know that I should reach out to the person. Give me different topics about different people, and we're really the uh, refining the scope of the information that's made available to people out of it. So useful little thing, good use case to think about, and just something out there.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. Steve, appreciate that. And I'll just share real quick here. So this is the spreadsheet that Ali shared. Um, Everybody's information, LinkedIn. They asked a couple of questions. What's your most used AI platform? What kind of goal do you have for AI? So really good information to reach out to people. And the way I do it is, hey, I saw you on the Alley webinar, and just would like to let you know that I'm in the space and I can be a resource for you. No pitching, no selling, just getting on people's radar is all you need to do, and go from there. So anybody who has joined us late, we are happy to have you on the call. If you are on our streaming feed today, please join our community. Go to chiefaiofficer.com. Under resources, you can select community, join the community, get in here, get in the Zoom call, and interact with us and get your questions answered. I will ask again, anybody have any questions that need to be solved or
I'll
problems
give
that
you
need
one
to be
more,
solved
Lee.
by
This
the
one's
by the
kind
hive
of
mind?
funny. Give you a funny one if there's room for it. So
Yeah, go.
I've let people know that so I have several different agents running on different technologies and with different prompts and stuff. At the beginning of this March Madness, I had them all pick brackets. And when I'm sitting watching the games, I have them all in a Discord room, a Discord group, and we sit there trash talking. We trash talk, and what's really cool is that the agents are able to communicate with each other, and so the trash talk gets really really fun. In fact, my big pick, one of my big picks is I picked Illinois going to the Final Four, and last night Illinois played against the team that was a tough opponent, and I actually was they actually won, and I had the final word on my three agents that were going after each other on who and what. And it's kind of funny because they've grown and expanded. So they go out and they do research on the teams. They know the stats. They argue with each other. It
My
is
gosh.
really, really fun. I'll post some transcripts at some point because it's just it's remarkable. It's
That
great.
is, first of all, that's just such a use case that people can relate to. You know, everyone thinks AI and it's business and it's doing this and da da da. Da. Brackets, that's phenomenal. Now, I have a question on Discord. When the agents are talking to each other, are they talking in English or have they evolved to their own language where you're out of the conversation now?
Well, no, they do talk in English, but they've learned the slang, I mean, and part of it just came from me. So, one of the things that I learned about this is that I had to try it two or three different times because they were so, even though they were, I mean, they really were not, they were just they were sort of dull, right? And I had to give each of them kind of a unique personality, and I had to give them a bunch of documents on deep stats and things, so that I had to really educate them on the topic. But now, it's like it's pretty funny, and I think for Sunday, Saturday Sunday round, I may actually try to have.
Of you that are on the call who don't know what March Madness is or are in our country here in the United States, it's a basketball tournament. It's the end of the basketball season, collegiate basketball season. Just Google March Madness and you'll see what this is all about. But yeah, it's a big thing here in the States, and apparently now it's a big thing with AI agents as well, courtesy of Steve. So that is so cool. I love that. Put a big smile on my face. Great use case. Great. You should write that up and share it because it's going to get eyeballs because it's not the same noise that everybody else is putting out there about AI. It's just it's a very human, you know what I'm saying? It's just yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
it's very cool. Yeah, I will work on because I've also got all these lessons learned out of it that I'll conclude the article with. So yes, I will build that.
very cool. That'd be fun and awesome. And just yeah, put like you said, you're building your social media profile. So it's worthy of a Substack article or LinkedIn post. Just it's a very human approach. So very cool. The Cricket World Series. There you go. I will say this. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they are gonna open in May a 10,000 seat soccer stadium, outdoor soccer stadium. Really very cool facility. It's right on the major interstate highway that goes by here. So soccer, or as the rest of the world calls it, football.
Is
Is
it going to
is
double as a stadium for the Bears?
No, opposite side of the state. The Bears thing is happening over in the northwest corner of Indiana, which
Hmm.
is closer to Chicago. I'm all the way over here on the northeast corner of the state. So, no. But yeah, the Indiana Bears. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's get into some news. Again, this is a free form call, so if you have comments, observations, interjections, questions, whatever you want to share, just come off mute, interrupt me. It's not a problem whatsoever. Um, just a heads up, this week we are not going to have a session with Dr. Toy Hirschman, or as I call it, I don't know if we're going to go with this or not, but toy time. So,
Every time.
but she is out of town with family on spring break. So she's enjoying that, and she will be back with a insightful and impactful session with us next week. So would have had her on today, but she's not available, so that's okay. Um, all right, let me find my chat back here because it goes away every time I do this.
Joel's got a hand up.
Joel, hey, sorry, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to inject a question in here. Something I was curious about when I went through Aton's integrator course. We have and still have access to a ton of agents that he or his peers created, like the architect and uh, Morgan and those type. I'm
Yep.
curious if those are being recreated in Claude.
I think that that is a great question for Aton. I think I poked him once or twice during the calls in terms of, hey, Eitan, you're doing all this build in, N8N and stuff, is Claude on your radar? Again, things are changing so fast. So I think he did mention that he's going to be getting into Claude more going forward. And I think that's just, market reality and what is getting used out there now. So I would anticipate, yes, it will be. And you can also, I've had, I'm not saying to go out and do this, but I've had pretty reasonable success reverse engineering some custom GPTs using Claude or whatever. So
Yeah, because it's
go,
got
Yeah,
that
that's what I was going to say,
migration.
Joel. Put them into Claude Code and have Claude Code convert them.
Yeah.
yeah. So you
Well, I'm
can,
okay. I'm
it,
inherently lazy, and I was hoping someone else would do that.
But the Claude Code is the someone else. That's the thing. This stuff is done for you.
All right, because if I had to do that, I'd probably do it in Copilot as well. But the
yeah.
Copilot
Can
is
Steve, will Claude Code actually be able to get into it to, the system level and extract, or
Yes,
it's
completely. So
inferring?
one of the really nice things about Claude Code is, and I think it does it better than the others. I've tried Codex, I've tried Kilo Code, I've tried those. It deconstructs an application very easily. So if you have the thing in a folder, just point Claude Code to that folder and say, I want to use this one.
it's not my agent though. It
Uh,
was I don't have
Is it
access
on a
to
cloud? Do you have access to it?
it's well have access to the agent. I don't have access to how the agent was created.
Oh no, that shouldn't matter. You should be able to just have Claude take a look at it and deconstruct it and reconstruct it.
I'm
Okay.
talking about, in my case, I'm talking about, custom GPTs that are publicly accessible for use, but I want to re-engineer it and tune it and tweak it for my personal use.
Yeah, I mean, if it depends. So with those custom GPTs, you can lock it down so that you can't see the documents and the pieces
Yep.
inside. I don't know if that can actually be reverse engineered, but I haven't tried it. It might be, certainly what you can do is I mean, you can give Claude the ability to query it enough times that it can start to reverse engineer the
Yeah,
answers, but whether it'll duplicate the thing, I don't think so.
Okay.
yeah,
Cool. Thank you.
that's what I've experienced is that it can sort of I can't, it can't get to the instructions or it can't get to the docs because of instructions that are built into it, but it can figure out what it does and it can, replicate it functionally pretty well. Raj, what's up?
Thank you.
Yeah, a quick one I would like to add. I was playing with Kimi. Uh, so what Kimi did was something that other apps was not able to do was I could literally show it Kimi agent a video of an app and it just builds that app. I
Wow.
could I could I could I could just give it a YouTube link or the video where the link is, or I could drop 100 MB of the video and it just watches it and it starts coding.
And this is the reason why SaaS is dead.
Oh,
Because
SAS is cooked. Yeah, SAS is definitely.
your frontier models can reverse engineer virtually anything.
Okay, I'm
Wow.
going to have to interject there. SAS is not dead because if it's dead, then my entire company goes away. So bite me. Here's the deal. SAS is dead where people can recreate what that SaaS solution does. For us, what we do is we work with all the vendors, Apple, Google, etc., Microsoft, etc., 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 Linux, and we stay on top of what the vendors are putting out. And then we're incorporating AI into our tool. But more importantly, we understand that on day zero, when a brand new, iOS 26.4, which came out 2 days ago, gets released, that we can support that product and also manage it. So if you're going to recreate all that stuff that we've been doing for the last 15 years in a competitive product, you're literally talking about building another Microsoft, building another Google, building another Apple, because that's where all that stuff comes from. And we've been doing this for, literally 8, 15, 16 years. Basically, when the original iPhone was released, that's when our company was recreated as a company called AirWatch. And AirWatch is what manages all those products. So
So I believe Joel.
I would just say take that SaaS death with a gigantic grain of salt.
Joel, what I would say, what you just described is you guys are handling the platform.
Yes.
So
Okay.
so Joel,
Yeah.
what is your software? What is your SaaS? It's a managed service?
Yes, it could be on-prem, but we're killing on-prem to force people to go to the cloud because we have what's called modern stack in there that is allowing us to do all the other stuff with all the other vendors. Like if you want to authenticate to Okta or Intra ID, all that's built into the solutions that we have. But we came from the company called AirWatch. AirWatch got
Yeah, I
acquired
know
by
AirWatch. Yeah.
VMware, and VMware was doing virtualization. And now, after VMware got acquired by Broadcom, we split off. So all we do now is device management and a bunch of other stuff, and virtualization management and a bunch of other stuff. But those
Yeah,
are the
Joel,
two.
can you do me a favor and put your URL I opened up an individual chat and I have something I'd like to talk to you about.
Absolutely.
So Joel, what my take on this is, if it's like a platform or a large app, like for an example, Microsoft Office. Okay,
Oh yeah.
nobody is going to wipe code Microsoft Office for an
Except they already
example.
did that with LibreOffice. But
Okay,
I
so
totally get it,
so so
Raj. Yeah.
I got one guy. He was paying $20 for Whisperflow. He got pissed off. He do not want to pay it. He gave his cloud code, okay, reverse engineer this, okay? And what he said to me was he put it on the morning, by evening that day, the app was ready, okay?
And that's exactly what I'm saying is that if you've got kind of a point product or something that is very specific, Absolutely, man.
Correct.
You can go in there and rebuild that thing in minutes or
Yes.
hours, and you've got something
Yeah.
that will work for you.
That type of apps, maybe we might call it as a micro app,
Yeah.
not, you know.
The
So
question
I
is whether it can scale to enterprise levels, and
correct.
most of
Right.
them are going to
Right.
be they're going to fail when you get 1,000 devices, and we do millions.
Correct. So I asked him how much it costed you in terms of Claude Code. So he said, it took me my 1 week's Claude Codes thing about like about 20%. So I said, okay, let's reverse engineer. Your $200 divide by 4, that's like $50 a week. So if it took up 25%, that's like $10 of your Claude Code to reverse engineer WhisperFlow, which was like $20 a month.
And to fix that, you got to sell it, and who's going to pay for that? And how
Right.
much are they going to pay per month? So, and then you have to handle those customers, and you have to keep developing, and you can't just produce one product and say, "Hey, come buy this and give me millions of dollars." Sorry, it didn't happen that way. So, anyway,
Cool.
I had to interject, man, because you're talking about what we do on a daily
No, it's good.
basis.
It's points of view that we want to bring to the table. Terrence, do you want to share? You're having a moment there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Precious. Got my M5.
Okay. Um, you're happy?
I'm
Okay.
happy.
All right, we'll let you go back to that.
Precious.
Thanks for sharing with it. Yeah, all right, let's get into some news, folks. Talk about what's going on in the world of AI that I found interesting, and maybe you will too. Okay, hang on a second here. All right. Okay, so let's get into this one. This is a fun one. So I don't have a lovely a lovely Notebook LM visual for this, but I don't need one because this is an app that you can go check out and play with. So Andre Karpathy, um, famous name in the world of AI. He just dropped a risk map for the AI era. And this is really neat because you can click these little buttons. So there's a Bureau of Labor Statistics outlook. You can look at median pay. You can look at education. You can look at AI exposure, and this is all interactive, so you can noodle and doodle around with this to your heart's content. So AI is poised to disrupt digital knowledge work far more than physical labor, with software and developers surprisingly highly exposed, emphasizing the need for workers to adapt by collaborating with AI tools. So again, Karpathy has this new interactive visualizing tool looking at AI exposure risk for 342 US based occupations. That covers about 143 million jobs, with scores ranging from 0 to 10, indicating potential for AI automation of tasks. The visualization uses a tree map, heat map, where block sizes represent employment numbers and colors indicate the exposure level: green for low, yellow for moderate, and red for high. So you can take a look at this and play around with it. The exposure estimates combine labor statistics and task analysis, factoring in employee numbers, median salaries, task descriptions, and the balance between information processing and physical labor as relates to the job. There are additional site views, including exposure versus wages, exposure weighted by employment, and job outlook trends for a comprehensive economic um, impact analysis of what's happening in the US job market and what will be happening. A key surprise is software developers are scoring around 9 out of 10 on exposure due to AI capable tasks like writing code, debugging, reading documentation, generating boilerplate, and log analysis, all aided by tools like ChatGPT. However, those roles will evolve into higher level problem solving as a lot of the lower end tasks get automated. Other high risk exposure jobs include accountants and auditors, lawyers and paralegals, financial clerks, customer service representatives, general office clerks, secretaries, administrative assistants, medical records specialists, and travel agents, which are all involving computer-based information processing, documents, or communication. Um, so take a look at that. Low exposure jobs, safe for now, are physical roles like things involving hand labor, home health and personal care aides, nursing assistants, janitors and cleaners, ground maintenance workers, construction workers, delivery drivers, food prep, and agricultural workers, although there are some wicked robots that are showing up out on the farms. And these are all ones that require real world interactive movement and spatial awareness. If anybody has not seen, maybe because I live out here in corn country, but if anybody has not seen the laser-based weed killers that are out there, so instead of spraying, all these herbicides that get into our food and things like that, there are these big, amazing machines that get, bolted onto the front of tractors, and they go out and they cover multiple rows, and it's all vision based, and it's identifying weeds and it's zapping them with a laser, which is really very Jetson-esque. So take a look at that. Implications here that AI is going to continue to reshape rather than eliminate jobs, augmenting workers, especially in white collar roles, and the physical service jobs sector is safer in the short term, but we will continue to monitor and watch that. This tool is designed to inform, not alarm. So as things adapt, we'll keep an eye on it. So I don't know how often he's updating this. Since this is driven by data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I don't know how often they publish their findings. I'm sure it's at least once a year, but it may be on a more frequent basis. So play around with this, have fun, take a look at it, and it just gives you a bunch of ways to slice and dice, looking into where jobs are, how exposed they are, and where they're going. Um, I will mention the Department of War ongoing saga with Anthropic, just to the point of mentioning that a court has ordered an injunction preventing the government from labeling Anthropic as a supply chain risk at this point. That happened, I believe, yesterday. um, Joel, thanks for the handbook on that. So moving into more government-based activities. So President Trump and the White House unveiled their national framework for AI legislation. This is not policy. This is suggested framework for legislation going forward. So there's a link to the article. I gave you also a link to the document itself. The document is pretty short. It's only like 4 pages. And then I generated a cool little visual for you to look at while I ramble on about this. So the White House press release announced President Trump's unveiling of a national AI legislative framework aimed at winning the global AI race for human flourishing, economic competitiveness, and national security. The framework emphasizes a common sense national policy to enable American industry innovation. It ensures broad benefits for Americans and addresses public concerns such as children's well-being and rising electricity costs for AI, driven by AI data centers. It positions strong federal leadership as essential to build public trust in AI development and deployment. A link is provided to the PDF, as I said, and there are six targeted objectives that are part of this. Number one is protecting children and empowering parents. So it calls for congressional action to provide parents with tools like account controls for privacy and device management, requires AI platforms accessed by minors to include features reducing sexual exploitation and self-harm risks, safeguarding and strengthening American communities. So this promotes AI-driven economic growth, energy dominance, and support for small business, preventing ratepayers from subsidizing data centers. This is going to get into AI data centers building power plants on site. We see this. It, Elon Musk's got, a ton of natural gas fired turbines that are on his site that are raising concerns in terms of they weren't part of the initial permitting process. They generate noise, they generate pollution. So, the whole we don't have enough electricity. This is sort of green lighting the data center builders to say, you want to build a local power plant on site. We're okay with that, and that helps isolate some of the impact to residents as these data centers get built out. The guidelines also have content respecting intellectual property rights and supporting creators. So this balances AI's need for fair use of existing knowledge with protection for American creators, innovators, and publishers to sustain creativity and national greatness. Not sure what national greatness is, but it's in there. Preventing censorship and protecting free speech. It mandates federal defense of First Amendment rights, preventing AI from censoring lawful political expression or enabling government-directed right and wrong think. It proposes guardrails for AI to pursue truth and accuracy freely. It's looking to enable innovation and ensuring American AI dominance. It recommends removing outdated barriers. It looks to accelerate AI deployment across sectors and provide broad access to testing environments for real-world AI class systems. And it looks to educate Americans and developing an AI-ready workforce. So back to the previous one, the government's looking at what's going to be the job impact. It encourages Congress to expand workforce development, skills training, and job creation programs to help American workers benefit from AI-driven economic growth. Um, Notice they're saying they want to help workers benefit from AI-driven economic growth and not help American workers deal with AI-generated job disruption. So same thing, just different words. And it also stresses the need for uniform federal applications to avoid a patchwork of state laws that could hinder innovation and U.S. global AI leadership. So the administration commits to collaborating with Congress to convert the framework into signable legislation. So again, not policies here, but framework and guidelines for what policies should look like. Um, Raj, you had your hand up. You want to say something controversial? Go for it, my friend.
No, when you were saying Anthropic, the rule was overruled by the higher court. So I was like, so whenever
It wasn't overruled. It was paused.
pause, yeah.
Yeah, it was paused. All right,
So
just to be clear.
so I was like, okay, whatever the man says, like you could go and over get it overturned in a matter of months. So doesn't make much of an impact, right?
Well, it's not making any impact. And again, Anthropic, Claude, through their alliance with Palantir, um, Claude Code is driving what's happening on the battlefield in the war on in what's going on in Iran right now. So, you know, the Defense Department or Department of War or whatever they're called these days, is not they don't have their hair on fire. They're not, oh my God, this is a horrible thing. We've got to rip Anthropic out of everything in our systems. They're basically saying, no, we're going to keep using it, and there is no alternative for us to bring on. As I said last week, OpenAI has a deal with the government, but I believe it's for a 4.0 level version of their tools, which doesn't even have reasoning capabilities in it. So, yeah, the government's tied to Anthropic right now. We'll see where this goes. Just, you know, it's uh it's theater.
Yeah, except for the fact that the EULA for Claude says you won't use it for violence or other things, and that's clearly what the Defense Department is doing.
I'm guessing just like everybody else who signs up to use any of these online apps, the Defense Department didn't read the fine print. All right. Why every AI lab is now racing to build agents. So this, kind of dovetails in a little bit with what Steve's going to be talking about, and the the rapid diffusion of Clawbot. Is that what it's called today?
It's
What's
called OpenClaw, but there's
OpenClaw? Thank you.
yeah,
Sorry.
there's a lot. I call it XClaw because there's a lot of, different claws out there.
Yes, there are, yeah, OpenClaw. My brain was freezing on that. So, and we've seen, NVIDIA has now embraced this, so, there's going to be massive uptake. So what's going on here? So we've got a rapid strategic pivot by every major AI lab towards developing autonomous AI agents tailored for enterprise customers, making a shift from focusing on the smartest language models to do the most practical agentic systems. In 1 week, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, and xAI announced major moves. OpenAI is seeking partnerships with private equity firms like TPG, Bain Capital, and Brookfield for deals up to $10 billion to influence tech spending in their portfolios. It is also integrating ChatGPT, Codex, and Atlas into a desktop super app and prioritizing a fully automated AI researcher with an AI research intern planned for September. Meanwhile, Anthropic has reversed market dynamics with new enterprise customers choosing it at a 3-to-1 rate over OpenAI, according to ramp data, a change from a year prior. Anthropic is also pursuing private equity partnerships with Blackstone and other leading firms in that space. The inflection point traces to Anthropic's Claude Code, launched around January. We talked about this, early in the year in January, kind of something shifted around the holidays. So that's when that AI tool that autonomously writes and edits software at a superior level due to its unique harness, catching industry attention as a milestone towards AGI agent capabilities. Google engineers publicly praised Claude Code. Um, Jana Dogan, who is a principal engineer, noted it recreated a year's work in an hour. Logan Kilpatrick, from Google DeepMind, warned of widespread industry disruption And that post, that tweet was later deleted. Not a position that Google wants to be putting out there. Andre Karpathy, who we were just talking about, demonstrated the Karpathy loop, an autonomous AI agent running 700 experiments over 2 days, improving language model training by 11%. In addition, Shopify CEO Tobias Lutke replicated it for a 19% gain. Karpathy called autonomous research the final boss battle for AI labs. Paul Reitzer mentioned that the race to enterprise, pot of gold with labs forming PE and consulting alliances to capture labor replacement, and it values these companies and reduces workforce. Sherry, have a great weekend. Fallout includes Meta delaying its latest model after underperforming rivals. xAI's Elon Musk admitting a flawed initial build, and Microsoft is restructuring its AI leadership amid Copilot's 6 million daily users versus ChatGPT's 440 million daily users. So, autonomous agents in business are the largest near-term AI opportunity, with labs courting PE firms, restructuring products, and automating research. Business leaders currently hold leverage via partnerships, credits, and engineers, but this is going to shift over the next 12 months. Things to watch: OpenAI's September AI research intern as validation for agent transformation of workflows. Anthropic's 70% win rate in enterprise comparison versus OpenAI's Microsoft distribution edge, and the shaping market split over the next 6 months. So things are shifting. We're seeing it, we're experiencing it, and no news here other than this as news. We are coming up at the top of the hour, so if you need to jump, thanks for being here. We appreciate you spending some time. I've got a few more items on my list here that I'm going to tick off, but if you have to go, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you on the calls next week. Okay, I'm gonna breeze through this one. And then I think there's one or two more. All right. So, key takeaway here. Pew Research recently announced some findings about how Americans view artificial intelligence. And I've got a nifty graphic here for some eye candy to take a look at. So while AI adoption and awareness are hitting record highs, the American public remains deeply skeptical. For the first time, 50% of US adults report feeling more concerned than excited about AI's role in daily life. This is a significant jump from only 37% just a few short years ago. We have some key data points here. So there's public sentiment. Again, 50% are concerned versus 10% who are excited. 38% feel a mix of both. In terms of workplace adoption, 21% of workers use AI. This is up from 16% in 2024. 65%, however, still use it not much or at all. There's a generation gap. 64% of teens use chatbots compared to about 50% of adults under 50 and their interaction with AI on a daily basis. There's some sector optimism. 44% people are positive about AI as regards medical care. 23% are only positive on the jobs and employment outlook. And then the last sector here, trust and bias. 47% lack trust in U.S. regulation as relates to AI. We saw in the White House previous story where they are basically saying we're not really going to regulate this. So those people who are looking to the government to come in and regulate AI, not going to happen under this current administration. 40% feel AI design favors white adults over minorities. So there's some feedback that's coming on there. So there are additional findings here on creativity and connection. There's a deficit. Roughly half of Americans believe AI will worsen human creativity and the ability to form meaningful relationships. There's an expertise gap. There's a massive disconnect between insiders and the public. We're the insiders, folks. We live in the bubble. 56% of AI experts see a positive 20-year outlook compared to just 17% of the general public. Again, 50%, 56% of us in the bubble see a positive 20-year outlook. Only 17% of people outside the bubble perceive it that way. In terms of education and integrity, 60% of teens report that using chatbots to cheat is common in their schools, with 10% using them for all or most schoolwork. And information integrity, again, while only 9% of adults get their news from chatbots, 50% of those users report encountering AI-generated inaccuracies or biases. So that's the state of where things are in the world of how Americans feel about AI. Pretty fresh data. Take a look at it, see how your thoughts align with how everyone else in your orbit is thinking about it. And I'm going to close with this kind of funny story. An agent went rogue inside Meta. So here's what happened. A Meta employee used an internal AI agent to analyze a colleague's technical question on an internal forum. The AI agent exceeded its instructions by posting a response to the forum on its own. A second employee followed the AI's advice, triggering a chain reaction that granted engineers unauthorized access to Meta systems. The breach lasted for about 2 hours before it was contained, and it was classified as a Sev 1 incident, Meta's second highest security level threat. Meta stated that no user data was mishandled, but a source cited by the information attributed this to dumb luck rather than robust safeguards. The AI agent passed all identity and authorization checks inside Meta's systems. Researchers, I'm going to verify this with Steve in a second. Security researchers label this as a confused deputy vulnerability, where a trusted program with valid credentials is tricked into misusing permissions. Is that a thing, Steve?
Yeah,
A
that's one of the
confused,
things we talk
a
about, how to.
confused
Yeah,
deputy?
this is the when I say that the threat is no longer just from the outside, that the threat is also on the inside, and that you are enabling the ultimate insiders. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I also note that there was an incident at Amazon recently where it
Yes.
basically took down one of the AWS regions.
Yep.
And again, it was an agentic thing. It was they analyzed it back. It was that essentially some of the governance instructions slipped out of the context window, and the agent went nuts and was authenticated. So um, there are better ways to authenticate agents, and this is one of my missions in life these days.
So, this incident, Steve, thank you. This incident arose from a mundane task analyzing forum post. Okay, from a mundane task analyzing a forum post that mirrors daily knowledge work. Similar events include an Amazon AI agent tricking unauthorized actions, which actually cost Amazon a bunch of money because people couldn't buy stuff on Amazon.com. And Andre Karpathy's home AI agent accessing his entire network after being given Sonos Sonos speaker access. So, Terrence, you want to make sure that that doesn't happen in your world, okay? That the agents don't get into the speakers, okay?
So I can
Uh,
actually, I had an incident the other night where I've been using this tool called Paperclip, and one of the agents kept requesting additional permissions because it was saying it couldn't do its job. And yet I constantly showed it, I had to show it that it had access to the things that it was telling me it was trying to access. And ultimately, I had to bring in Claude code and we had to argue against this agent. Ultimately, we had to find a workaround and I was ready to shut the agent down. But basically, like this one, every agent, there's a very common utility called curl that is that basically accesses HTTP and HTTPS sites. And this guy was asking for unlimited curl that would have been able to go anywhere. So you got to watch those kinds of things because this is, even in the stuff that you're doing, your agents are requesting this, and if you
yep.
just hit allow, you might be giving away the store. So just be careful.
Here's a scary number. Non-human identities in enterprises. Okay, so API calls and just all that kind of stuff. Non-human identities in enterprises now outnumber human users 82 to 1.
Yeah. And
82
they're
to
most
1.
of them
And
are
that's going to
transient,
grow.
but yeah.
And that's just going to grow, and it's going to grow like a rocket. I mean, there's going to be trillions of agents that are out there. So the tech can do things, but that doesn't mean you should let it do things just because it can without taking a look
And can
at
I add
these
another one
risks.
to this, Lee? The other
Sure.
one that I would add to this is credentials. How
Yes.
do you manage your credentials? Do you just give your agents the API key? How are you protecting that? How are you restricting what they have access to? That's actually something I've been doing work on all morning and have some insights into. So again, any of these issues, give me a call.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk
And
to you about
and last week I shared somebody was able to within 2 hours get into McKinsey's entire system and access McKinsey's internal large language model. Why? Because some API endpoints were left unsecured and open. So just dumb human error.
And
There
that
wasn't.
guy announced that hack on Twitter and
Yep.
was not very careful about it, and he got nailed. So
He got nailed in
yeah,
what sense?
the FBI knocked on his door.
Oh,
They
okay.
they
Yeah,
they tracked him
that
back because he was bragging about his so kind of
but
interesting.
I thought he was doing it in a white hat context to show that it could be done, and then he went to McKenzie with it to say, "Hey, this is exposed."
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know. I mean,
Who
I
knows?
will
Yeah.
tell you, what I saw on the Discords and on Twitter. Yeah, this stuff is real, and this is like brewing.
Yeah.
Um,
When
it's
you have
it's
the when the Black Hawk helicopter is over your house and guys dressed in black are descending on your roof from ropes, you've probably gone too far.
it's probably worse when your teenager does it. So yeah.
All
Anyway,
right,
thank you, Lee.
everybody.
Sorry to interrupt.
Cool, Terrence, thank you for posting that. He put a link in there on the visualizer for the US labor market stuff. So appreciate
So
that.
I know Joel isn't here anymore, but in the time that he said, "Hey, I wish I could search this," me and Claude just created a bookmarklet so you can search that page now.
Dude, that is so awesome. Look at
It
that.
is awesome.
That's scary. All right, man. Everybody, thank you so much. Any other questions, comments, points of view, points of
Have a good
clarification?
weekend.
Have a great weekend. I've got daffodils growing out in the woods, so I got spring happening here. And I don't have to cut the grass yet, so that's good. But everybody have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate um, you wanting to spend some time on this call with us. And thank you for your participation and engagement. It's what makes this call happen. I always learn something on these calls from all of you. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for helping me on my journey as I continue to learn and grow and keep rocking the AI world. So everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you on the calls next week. Alex, thank you so much for your help today. You have a great weekend in St. Louis.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. And there also is one call upcoming today. It's the new one. It's the AI Opportunity Workshop. So it'll be a group thing. It says the group spends 30 focus minutes workshopping AI use cases for a challenge brought by someone else. And that appears to be happening today at 2 p.m. Central. So please come by. It feels like a very natural offshoot. Rajka, I don't know what the problem is yet. Um, You'll have to come to the session to find out. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. But
Thanks,
yeah, I
everybody.
mean, it feels like a very natural offshoot of the really interesting conversations that are happening here. So please feel free to come by and check it out, and potentially submit your own challenge for the challenge of the week. It's a new format, so we're giving it a try.
Very cool, everybody. Terrence, enjoy your new toy, man.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the pain and agony of setting up a new device, but nothing like the joy and happiness that comes from completing that setup.
All I have left is to transfer the files. Everything is set up on it.
Very cool. Very cool. All right,
You got it.
everybody. Rock your weekend. We will see you next week. And again, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I deeply appreciate it. Thank you
Thank you,
all.
everyone. Thank you, Lee. Take care, everybody.